Gadug. This video is about contrasts and how the body requires contrasts in order to facilitate growth, facilitate not strength gains, but to facilitate resistance and to improve resistance against certain things. And if we think about it logically, the contrasts that are needed are hot and cold. We need temperatures to kind of differ between hot and cold in order to improve our ability to deal with hot and cold stressors. But also what we've now realised is that by subjecting ourselves to hot and cold, the knock-on or downstream effects of hot and cold exposure allow us to better deal with all types of stress. They also allow us to reduce our stress levels. They allow us to improve our cardiovascular health. They reduce our all-cause mortality, so that's dying from anything, by a significant amount. And so that's the contrast. And so if you think about your life, do you have a relatively climate controlled house, and then you get into a climate controlled car, and then you get into a climate controlled office, and then you get back into that climate controlled car, or maybe you go out for lunch to a climate controlled cafe, and then you get into a climate controlled office, and then back into a climate controlled car, and then back home to a relatively climate controlled house. Where is that exposure to different temperatures that allow us to get better, that allow us to be fitter, stronger, healthier? It might not be there, but it's something to be aware of. Secondly, light and dark. Do we have periods of lightness and do we have periods of darkness? And I'm talking about light, I'm talking about daylight, where possible, sunshine, that kind of brightness. Because again, we need both, and both are very important for so many different aspects of life, whether we're talking about stress levels, we're talking about inflammation, whether we're talking about various diseases, whether we are talking about functional capacity, whether we are talking about sleep quality and therefore restoration. All these things are included in light and dark. And again, the bigger the contrast, the better these things occur. And so if you have a big contrast, like for example, the reason I bringing all this up is because I've just been in the sauna and I finally found a set of earphones that work in the sauna via Bluetooth. Yeah, I know Bluetooth, EMF, blah, blah, blah. I am aware of that, but again, everything that you do or want to do, weigh it up in terms of cost benefit type thing. So the benefit to me of having Bluetooth earphones in the sauna mean I'm much more relaxed, and sometimes I can do more of the sauna, so that extra kind of bit of EMF for a short period of time is vastly outweighed by the positives of a slightly longer sauna session, and me being more comfortable in the sauna session, therefore me being more likely to do it more often, and therefore I'm getting a lot of positives. Anyway, back to the thing. So we've got heat and cold, we've got light and dark, but the other thing we've got to also think about is we have rest and digest and fight or flight. And I mean, there must be, or we must aim to put in periods of both. So periods of relaxation, rest, digest. Okay, there is no eating. And for some that means intermittent fasting. I do it. And your reasons for doing intermittent fasting or not doing intermittent fasting are your own. It's not for me to tell you this or that. But again, it's about contrasts. It's about periods of time where you have different stimulus to your body that allows it to get better, get stronger, fitter, more resilient. And rest and digest is no different to that. So if we go for a little bit longer without any food going into our mouth, then our body takes on a different pattern, and that's important that our body does that. It's important that our body doesn't consistently, in my opinion, have access to food every hour, 2 hours or whatever, because it gets lazy. It's the same thing, like if you are someone that has climate controlled life, chances are when it gets hot you struggle to cool yourself down. When it gets cold you struggle to heat yourself up, because your body gets lazy. And it doesn't just get lazy to do that, it gets lazy at other things. And so the more we can have these what are called hormetic stressors, the stronger, the more resilient our bodies become. And we seem to have lost that as a society at the moment, and we need to get it back. We need to understand that contrast can be a very good thing for various aspects of your health. So think about your own life. Do you have a contrast of light and dark? Do you have a contrast of hot and cold? And do you have a contrast of fight or flight and rest and digest? If you don't, think about how can you have those, or implement them into your lifestyle in a way that fits and in a way that encourages you to do positive things in your life. Have a great day. Stay